I'm back for S, baby. We're just gonna do S in this one. Next, we'll do T, probably T through everything else that I have. But to start off with on S, this is another one that was sent to me by my good friend Ron. We watched it before we watched Detonator, which he also sent to me. We hated Detonator. But we loved this one because it's good, cheesy fun. It's freaking hilarious. If you haven't seen this, you definitely need to. It is Safe House, starring Patrick Stewart. This was, I believe, a Showtime original movie, and it's goddamn hilarious because it's Patrick Stewart losing his fucking mind. There are scenes in this movie where Patrick Stewart is shooting at the grass for like no reason. Just with his gun, he's just shooting at the grass. And there's a scene in this movie where he defiantly eats a Twinkie. There's another scene in this movie. I could go on for days about all the hilarious shit that takes place in this movie. But suffice it to say, this is one of those hidden treasures that you probably never heard about that you need to freaking see. It's fucking hilarious. Next up, Salem's Lot, another Stephen King movie. I don't know if this is on Blu-ray yet. Let me do a checker on that one. I don't think it is. Could be wrong. It is not. It is not on Blu-ray yet. So, of course, I have the DVD. Quite good, but not really my favorite. I believe it was originally a miniseries, which is why it's like 3 hours long. Directed by Tobe Hooper, who you may remember from such films as Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist. So, yeah, you're getting quality here. I'll hold on to that one until there's a Blu-ray release. Next up we have, oh god, the uncut version, uncut edition of Saw with the nice little blade that floats around in the case. There used to be blood in this case. The blood has pretty much dried up. It's not real blood, but yeah. I mean, I wonder what they thought was going to happen with something like this, where they put it out and they're like, this is going to be a cool thing that people are going to pick up and they're going to love. And I'm like, yeah, but what happens to it after the blood dries out? Like, but regardless, I got this because it's the uncut edition. And, you know, the uncut editions of these movies are the best. I have only seen the first 3, but I recently traded for the complete series on Vudu. So now I can watch all of the Saw movies whenever I feel like it. But if I ever want to see the uncut edition of the first one, here it is. And this is definitely the best one out there. Danny Glover, gotta love it. Saw. Probably won't be getting rid of this one because the Blu-rays are like notoriously shitty. And I mean, well, I guess it depends, because if I saw that whole entire Saw set Blu-ray set for like $5, I'd probably be like, fine, 7 movies for $5, okay. But other than that, probably just gonna hold on to it. This one is on Blu-ray, but I still have the little book edition of Schindler's List. This one is very, you know, it's heart-wrenching. It's one of those movies that it's like, you own it just to say you own it. Just so you can be like, I've seen it, but it's depressing as fuck, so you don't really want to watch it all that often. Anyways, next up we have one that I'm probably going to be upgrading to Blu-ray this year. Getting some of the dust off. Scrooged on DVD. I think this is the original release of the DVD. I got it for Christmas many years ago, and I absolutely love this movie. It's one of the best Christmas movies of all time. Gotta love it. Bill Murray. Not a bad thing to say about it. Next up, this one has a Blu-ray release, but I believe I've been told that it's also bad. Like, not well done. Secondhand Lions. I really liked this movie. It kind of reminded me of the family movies that I grew up with, and yet you don't really see movies like this very often anymore. So, you know, I had to pick it up, do my part. I don't know if I'll be holding on to that one. I might upgrade to Blu-ray if the Blu-ray becomes cheap enough, but we'll see. Regardless, next up, Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez. A lot of you may remember this from the 90s. A very good movie about a poor young musician. Kept wanting to say songstress. Who sadly did not live very long. And yeah. This is a very good movie about her. It's a very good starring role for Jennifer Lopez and Edward James almost. And I picked it up for 50 cents. Amazon did like a little fire sale thing, and this was 50 cents, so I picked it up. At the time, I was practically broke, but I had some. I had like $1.50 in Amazon credit, so I used that to get Selena and like $1 Blu-ray that they had also on a fire sale. The setup is quite a good noir film that inspired a lot of movies that came after it, including Raging Bull. And this is one of the ones that came in that noir set that I got, and I was very pleased with it. I have seen it. I watched it. I hadn't seen it when I got the set, but I have now, and very good. Very good. Strange Days. This is a Catherine Bigelow movie. Yes, the same Catherine Bigelow who did Near Dark, who did more recently Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker. I wish she would do a return to sci-fi because she does sci-fi so goddamn well. And she doesn't get enough of a chance to anymore. That's what really bothers me. Like, it pisses me off that women aren't given a chance to direct anymore. They never really have been given a chance. But, like, it doesn't make any sense. There's no legitimate reason not to give a woman a chance to direct a movie, because there are so many women out there who are competent, excellent directors, and yet just never given a chance. It's just, that right there is definitely sexism. But I think part of the reason that exists is because of the Hollywood system, where, you know, you got to know somebody to get anywhere in Hollywood, right? And so because it's still based on this really old concept of running a business, of course it takes longer for any kind of social or cultural revolution to take place, which is why most of the cultural revolutions that have taken place in film have taken place outside of the Hollywood system. So, yeah. Anyways, Strange Days, very good movie. I totally recommend seeing it, even though it's based on like a future 2000. At the time, this came out in the mid-90s, and they were talking about like a future, what 2000 would look like to people in the 90s, essentially. So is it like a perfect interpretation of what actually happened? No, of course not. It's kind of an apocalyptic look at what happens in future 2000, which has already come and gone and passed. So, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, you definitely owe it to yourself to check it out. And I don't think that one's on Blu-ray yet. Let's do a check. It's not. This one is on Blu-ray, and I will be picking up that Blu-ray as soon as I can afford to do so. Sunset Boulevard. I have the DVD at least, special collector's edition. Very good noir movie. Probably one of my favorites. Next up, Super Mario Brothers. Does anyone even care if this one is on Blu-ray or not? It is guilty pleasure material. And finally in the S's we have Surf Ninjas. Oh yeah. Another guilty pleasure. And I don't think either of those are on Blu-ray. And honestly, I'm not sure if I care or not. Even if they were on Blu-ray, I probably wouldn't pay too much to have them. So, yeah. I guess that means we're on to the last few titles, which will probably be one video. Because I'm looking behind me here, and it's not a very big pile. So, oh, actually, I forgot one thing. I also have the Shining miniseries. It's over there. I don't want to get up and get it, and whatever, for the video. But the original miniseries that I think Sci-Fi did a few, like 10, 15 years ago, maybe longer. And I actually really like it. I also own the original movie for The Shining, but I also like this interpretation as well. So I have that on DVD as well. Well, I said I was going to show you the miniseries that I have. All the miniseries that I have like that are freaking Stephen King miniseries. What can I say? Anyways, on to the teas. And